I don't want to have to fight with weeds this year on spinach because I really love my spinach. Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Not a Pro Gardener here. We are from Zone 6B. We're going to be going through our seed inventory with you so you can kind of follow along on what we're going to be growing, and it's kind of for our records as well, so we can have this video, this vlog, if you will, about what seed varieties we're doing, going through our seed starting schedule down the line on it to show us, put it to use in keeping organization and what we're going to be talking about in the order we're going to be seed starting in as well. So that'll be how we have our list to tell you about the varieties we have. We are in the garden today. We're in the raised bed garden. It's about 40 degrees today. Partly cloudy, but mostly full sun here. The reason we are doing this is to keep our viewers up to date on what we're going to be planting, kind of like a sneak peek for the whole year. You can kind of be anticipating videos about these certain varieties we have, and maybe we can give you feedback on how they're doing, or maybe you could give me feedback in the comments below on how they did for you in the past, and maybe you could give me some insight on what your favorite varieties are and what you are most excited about starting this year or growing this year or trying. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Now for a little information here on some heirlooms and hybrids. I just picked up the basic definition that Johnny's Growers Library has, just to kind of give you a little, if you hear us ever talking about this in the future. It's an heirloom is an open pollinated variety that has been passed down probably generation after generation. For their prized traits they have been kept, like taste or maybe fragrance or the appearance of the fruit or vegetable, so to speak. Now, the benefits of these heirlooms, the open pollinated varieties, is that you can save the seeds from those and they will be true to the variety of the parent that you got them from. As in, if you wanted to keep saving seeds every year, you would be better off choosing an open pollinated heirloom variety. And another added benefit that may happen is heirlooms can adapt to your climate or your zone. The more you save them every year, they might get that better disease resistance specific to your region or whatever problems you may be having. They could potentially adapt. Never had that happen to me, but I've heard it takes over 10 years or something of saving seeds to even get that quality in the seed. Now, hybrids, or as in when you buy the seeds, it says F1. Hybrids, the F1, if you see that on your seed packet, that's just the first offspring of these two parents that they select. The offspring of a cross between two genetically distinct parents. The hybrid varieties are selected for traits such as improved flavor, disease resistance, fruit quality, and the yield, and climate adaptability, which could be for places like Florida or Georgia specifically for them. And an F1 on your seed packet usually just means that that was the first generation of offspring from those two parents. And usually, if you save the seeds off of those, that's called an F2, and there's no guarantee that those have the same disease resistance as the ones you bought before. Because let's say I got a hybrid onion seed and I'm looking to save the seeds off of those for any reason, they wouldn't pass down the disease resistance or anything from that F1. The F2 would be just go off the rails. It's not true to its parents. Hybrids are better for getting better yields, better disease resistance, and sometimes even better taste. I usually use hybrids if I know I'm going to can some food and put up on the shelf. I'll pick a hybrid tomato for that specific task for the year, or an onion or whatever. I usually try to make it advantageous for me in my growing situation because I know I have to have that food. And that is a good shoulder to lean on, those hybrids sometimes, and I haven't had too much trouble with the taste on them, in my opinion. But heirloom tomatoes, that's a different story altogether for me. I like them both quite a lot, and I grow many varieties of each. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out the seed schedule. In the last video, I might pop that up here somewhere that you can see that video as well to kind of put a face with a name. You'll know what we're talking about. The seed starting schedule from that last video, and I got a list of all of the varieties that we're going to be doing. We're going to go through the cold season first and kind of talk a little bit about them. And a lot of these are from seeds from last year as well, so let's go ahead and get in it. First on the list here is onions, and then spinach and celery for January. I already have my onion seed started, but we got the Calibra. I'll pop a image up somewhere over here of all these varieties. We got the Calibra, which is a yellow onion, which has a very high shelf life if stored in the right conditions, which is why we chose it. And we have 2 bunching onions and a multiplying onion this year. First, we got the Warrior bunching onion we grew last year. We really enjoyed that one. And we also have the deep purple for the bunching onions as well. And that one was pretty good, so we're going to try to grow that one again. Now, the Tom's multiplying onion, we still have the cloves saved. We're going to try to put them in the ground and try to grow them here as well. Probably like 4 or so weeks before our last frost, just to kind of see what we can get out of them, because they're supposed to be multiplying onions, and we'll do an in-depth video when that time comes, hopefully, if they make it. Now, next we're going to our spinach. The seed I had last year, the Bloomsdale spinach, I'm going to try to grow that again, but it might be more aimed towards raised beds. I'm hoping to aim some of that stuff towards raised beds because I don't want to have to fight with weeds this year on spinach, because I really love my spinach, and I kind of got burned on that last year. The weeds took over, and I just kind of scrapped the whole bed and started over. That's one thing you got to watch out for carrots and spinach, is the weeds. They will take over and make it difficult. So the next ones on our list will be cauliflower. The cauliflower, we have the cheddar cauliflower. Now into February, we have the cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all this stuff here is when we got to seed start this stuff. So we have cauliflower. That'll be the cheddar cauliflower we got. We're going to try that again. We ended up dropping a big full tray of transplants. It was 162 transplants of cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, and some other things, cabbage, and I dropped the whole tray last year, so I had to scrap that plan. I did try to grow some again 2 weeks. They pretty much ended up in the ground about 4 or 5 weeks, roughly about 5 weeks later than they should have been. So they ended up bolting. It got too hot for them. I had to scrap that whole plan, and that was painful, but I had to give it a shot. And now I know that I need to get them out here as soon as possible and have both hands on that tray at all times. You know. So the next one will be cabbage, and we have from last year the Caribbean Queen cabbage head. Didn't get to try that one because of the dropping the whole tray thing, so we're going to give that one a shot again. And Brussels sprouts from dropping the tray. We're going to try our Jade Cross Brussels sprouts from last year again, and hopefully we can make something out of that. And the broccoli, we did all right with that. We had some heat tolerant varieties, and I think we had that in the ground already. So we did 2 different ones. This year we're just going to try 2 new ones. The first one was recommended by a viewer, the Gypsy broccoli, which I did want to try that one. So we got that one. We're going to try that first. And then I'm going to try to sneak some broccoli in the fall, and hopefully we can get those second crop of broccoli at the end of the year if I got time or something, which would be pretty cool. I would enjoy to do that experiment. So we did carrots last year, and we ended up pulling that off. It wasn't too bad. They wasn't as big as they needed to be, but I'm happy with them. So now, what do we have? We got next on the list is beets. So we did have some beet harvest from last year, which will be the Avalanche beets and the Touchstone Gold beets, and I enjoyed them both, and I hope to grow a good crop of them again this year. Now, collards. We're going to be doing the flash collards. Those, I'm hoping to be eating some more greens this year, at least twice a week, so I'm going to have a dedicated raised bed to just collards, Swiss chard, maybe some spinach, just depends, lettuce, soy greens. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping to fill it up so I can pick from it, groceries from it every week. The next thing we're going to be doing is we have some lettuce, and we have the Next thing we got on the list is lettuce. We're going to be doing from last year the Dragoon, the Truckus, and the Breen mini romaine heads again. And those turned out all right. They was pretty good, but we planted them a little bit later than we got a little bit late on putting them in the raised beds, so they bolted pretty quick because we had a fast heat up this last year. Next, we'll be doing some radishes. We got some Chinese red meat radishes. We're going to try those again. They ended up bolting as well before they made, which we got them in too late, but we're going to try them again. Next thing we're going to be doing will probably be the tomatoes, and boy, do I have a list of tomatoes this year. So we usually do about a 30-foot row of tomatoes, plant them about every foot, and this year I'm going to try some different things with that. But the list we have to pick from is we got some Better Boy tomatoes and the Chef's Choice black tomato. Some of they're kind of mixed in. I don't have them in order for like beefsteak, cherries, and stuff like that. But the Abe Lincoln tomato, which has a history behind it. I'd have to read the seed packet whenever I get to it. We got the green zebra tomato, which ain't quite a cherry tomato if I quite recall, and the black zebra tomato. I think that one's a cherry tomato, and I'm looking forward to all of these, especially this next one, the Sun Sugar cherry tomato. I've heard a lot of good things about those, and I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for that one. The kids are too. All right, the next one we got is a big rainbow tomato that we've had for quite a long time. I really enjoyed that one this last year, along with a couple other heirlooms. So we're going to try some of those again. The next one we're going to do is the Bella Rosa. That one I didn't do last year. I wanted to see what it was like not to grow it for a year to kind of compare it to the other ones. So we're going to bring that one back, and I'm pretty excited about that one because it's usually pretty good. We're going to do Summer Pick again, Homestead Tomato, and probably the Hossinator again. That one wasn't too bad. I grew a pretty big, over a pound tomato on it, which was nice because it produced quite a bit there. Kellogg's Breakfast again. I believe that's an indeterminate tomato plant. And then we got the Cherokee Purple I want to throw in the mix there. I got a few seeds of those left, and those are pretty good too. All right, moving on to some herbs we're going to be doing as the holy basil. I'm looking forward to that. I got a lot of plans for these as medicinal herbs, and I'm trying to dip my toe into that section of gardening, which I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot to take in, but I love learning about new things. Some sage. We're going to be putting some of that out this year. I've never done that yet. Lemongrass, I'm going to try it. I think it's too cold here for it to be grown year-round, so I might have to do it in like a pot, and then once it gets big enough I can break it off into different pots and make more. We got some rosemary. I'm really excited about doing that one, and some chamomile. We've gotten into the chamomile tea, and I'm going to try growing it myself just to kind of compare it to store-bought dried. Next we got some squash. It'll be the partial eclipse squash, and then we also got a spineless supreme. We got a spineless supreme zucchini, which if you don't know what that is, it's the zucchini plants do not have spines on them, so you don't get that itch, which I like to do these every year because I let the kids get in there and pick them. I usually let the kids go in and pick them, and that's pretty fun. Next will be the slick pick squash. That one's pretty good. It's a huge producer for me, and I really enjoyed growing it. It's something that you can pick off of every week and eat as a side. Now I'm really excited about this one. Last year we did some butternut squashes, but this year we're going to do this honey nut butternut squash, and on the picture it looks big. I can't remember how many pounds the fruit was, but I'm really hoping to get as much of that as I can and can it as like a snack. Now we're running low on our green beans, so we got to do some bush beans. So I got Momentum bush beans and some Compass bush beans. They look like the Momentum has been a huge producer for me, and the Compass looked like it had a huge producing trait as well, so I got that one on the list. I don't know if I threw it in there, but the Swiss chard, that one wasn't on my seed starting list, so I'm going to lump that in with the beets so far anyway. And it was I believe it was called Bright Light Swiss chard. For carrots, we're going to do Atlas carrots. They're almost like a golf ball size. They do not bore down very far. They're for hard clay soils or rocky soils. People that can't grow like imperators or stuff like that, this would be something that you need to give a shot. So we're going to give it a shot this year, and I might even do it in some raised beds and do a good explanation on direct seeding carrots and stuff like that. So if I didn't throw that one in there, I'm throwing it in at the end. But as you can see, we went through our list in order. There's a lot of things I'm not planting this year, like tomatillos, eggplants, rutabagas. I'm cutting out a lot of this stuff just so I can mainly grow hitting home run groceries to try to cut down food costs, which is going to be huge for a lot of people probably this year. And I'm hoping I can put out some good content on how to save money on growing some things. So kind of keep looking out for all this stuff that I'm growing. And if you enjoy watching these videos, hit the like button. You know, I need to, it kind of helps me out knowing what kind of content you guys like if you hit the like button on some videos, so I can keep kind of putting out videos that you guys enjoy to watch. So not a big deal. This is Not a Pro Gardener here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time out here in the garden. Have a great day.